Hey, my name is Chrissy Hodges, and thank you for being here at my YouTube channel. I'm a certified peer support specialist here in the States, and I work with people internationally to help provide support normalization. I also own OCD Peers, and we run groups for peer support every single day, www.ocdpeers.com. And I'm also the author of Pure OCD, The Invisible Side of Obsessive Compulsive Disorder. Just really quickly, if you are looking for therapy, someone here in the States in OCD provides therapy in every single state. Please go to www.treatmyocd.com to find out more about their pricing and how to get in for an assessment here in the States. You can also look under my video in the description, and I have a link that you can click on. So welcome and thank you for being here. I'm really excited and a little anxious to talk about this topic today. Mainly because I've been struggling pretty badly with it the last year, and I did not even know it until recently. But I have been hearing from a lot of clients and a lot of people that this has become a really big issue for them because of the nature of how we're having to communicate on Zoom or on different video platforms. So I wanted to just briefly talk about body dysmorphic disorder, commonly referred to as BDD, but I also really want to touch on body image and how OCD can latch onto body image and really exacerbate things and make you pretty miserable. I do want to clarify, I don't know a lot about BDD. I'm just starting to learn about it. So this isn't really going to be an informational session, but more along the lines of what it feels like and how it can manifest. And also, I want to distinguish, I'm not talking about eating disorders. Even though I know that eating disorders can coincide with OCD, I am by no means an expert in it. I haven't really struggled at all with EDs, so wanted to make that distinguished, that this is not a video about that. However, some of the stuff I'm going to talk about really does kind of touch on just the foundation of what it means to struggle with body image. So first, I just wanted to tell you something. I talked about this on my Instagram. If you're on Instagram, follow me at PureOChrissy. I talked about this probably about a month, 5 weeks ago. I didn't realize until, probably about 6 to 8 weeks ago that I was really struggling with what I see are symptoms of body dysmorphic disorder. And I, kind of like a lot of people during this pandemic phase, there's just such this degree of uncertainty we're dealing with. And even if that's not impacting you directly, that uncertainty in general can really kick up symptoms of OCD. It can latch onto different themes that maybe you haven't had before, or exacerbate things that may have been minor and now all of a sudden are overblown. And this, I guess, has been going on probably a little bit longer than the pandemic. I'm just going to tell you straight up. And this is an exposure for me talking about this out loud. So just so you know, I'm a little anxious. I'm in my 40s, and the last, I would say, year or two, I really started to notice some difference in my appearance. And, I'm gonna tell you something. Everybody says, like, when you're 40, everything changes, like gravity, shit starts falling. And I was like, that's not happening to me. No, it happens. It happens. Enjoy your 20s and 30s, okay? But I guess what I want to say is, even in seeing little minor things that you may not even, like, if you saw me on a regular basis, these are things you may not even recognize. But as we all know, we're our worst critic at times and can be very observational and analytic. And so I've just started to notice things about my appearance. Now, I also want to preface with, I'm not opposed to getting old. The end. Like, that's all. I can't stop it. It's going to happen. But just kind of that adjustment period, and also probably coupled with just the constant state of being on Zoom. And I do all different types of platforms. So you look very different on each platform. And so I really, probably with the age piece, and then when COVID hit, I became, and as y'all know, I've talked about this on my other videos. I had OCD attached to like an injury. At some point, I'm going to do a video on that just so you know exactly what I'm talking about. And where I used to be able to run every day and be a pretty hardcore athlete, a lot of that subsided for a couple years. And so I gained weight and didn't have the physique that I had before when I was doing full-time athletics. Now, I can do all that again, but another thing with the age that I found out is it is not as easy as it used to be if I took time off from exercising to build that back up. And that has been a huge slap in the face. So all these things combined, I just started to feel like I didn't want to be seen. I just started, I didn't like to look in mirrors. I started comparing myself to other people. And at first, where it seemed like this is just kind of what everybody does, it started to get to a point where I started avoiding doing these videos. And I started avoiding doing videos like on Instagram. And I avoided getting my photo taken. And if you follow my channel, you'll probably see I was doing videos and then I just would do like one every once in a while. So it really hit me when I started thinking about doing videos once a week or once every couple weeks again, because I just miss it. I love connecting with y'all. I love being able to talk about things that are important to people with OCD and my clients. When I thought about that, it was like 6 weeks ago, I was like, oh my God, I don't want to because I don't want anyone to see me. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I don't care what I look like because my videos are not about me. They're about us. They're about OCD topics. And so that made it like almost compounded it because I was like, wait a minute, why? What do you, like, I started to feel like, are you vain? Why do you care how you look? Like, what does it matter? And then I'm like, no, that's not it. You know how OCD is? It's like, you had the obsession and then it's silly but you can't stop. That's how it felt. It was like, wait, no, it's not like I'm doing videos because, ooh, look at me. I'm doing videos because this content is so important, but that was getting in the way of like, I don't want to put myself there for people to see. And that just scared me. Because then I started to notice whenever I was meeting with people or when I was in meetings, I would sometimes stare at like the features on my face. Look right now, I'm like, you want to talk about a flaw? There's your flaw. Sorry. It's so big. Anyway, I would start to stare at features of my face and be like, oh my God, like my face is dropping. What if my nose is bigger? Like there's always something about my hair. Y'all know that. And it started to become problematic to the point where I was like, I hope clients cancel. I, want to cancel clients. I don't want to have to, and then it became where I didn't want to go out anymore. I didn't want to go out in public. I didn't want to put clothes on and feel having body image stuff, and I didn't want people to see me. It just got really bad. And I'm telling you this because if you're struggling with this, I hope you can relate. Once I started opening up a little bit more about it, I started to hear back from clients and getting messages, especially because I posted a few things on Instagram of people going, I feel the same way. And also it feels like there's not really an outlet to talk about it. Talking about how we look, because BDD focused very heavily on, focusing in on a flaw or, comparing yourself to other people. And then that's kind of the compulsive piece of it, which just digs you farther down into this hole. People can go to all kinds of extremes, whether that be surgery, excessive exercising, then, being housebound. There's so much to it. This is a real deal. And I think that people are really afraid to talk about it. And right now, I think too, we have been kind of isolated. We're not doing the same things we used to do. And it's just this, especially last week, I noticed a lot of people talking about, oh my God, I have to go out and see people. and I just feel terrible about myself, or I feel like I've gained weight, and people just feel very subconscious, and the resistance to talk about it is vanity. People are afraid to open up about it, shame and guilt and embarrassment. And also the ultimate fear is, well, what if it's not in my head and I'm really just like, for me, it was like, I knew it was irrational. At one point, I even said to my husband, I said something to him, like that we were watching TV, and I said, I feel like I look like, and I just started pointing out stuff to him, and he was like, Chrissy, like your things are distorted for you. I would like point out someone who's super, super old, and he was like, you're not there yet. He was like, you will, you'll get there. But you know what I mean? It's like, things were so distorted that when I start comparing myself, but it feels vain. You know what I mean? And it also feels terrible. Like I'm looking at other people and like, oh my God, or like I would look at someone and be like, okay, they've aged too, so that's okay. It's awful to do that. Just the comparative piece. But also just to complete that thought is, a lot of people are afraid to talk about it because they're afraid to find out, that it's not anxiety and it's not BDD, or it's not a struggle with OCD and body image or something. And that, the same with other themes, they're just going to find out, no, you really just, Chrissy, you just really do look like an old hag, or you really are disgusting, or whatever my brain is telling me that I think I am. So I wanted to share that with you in hopes that if you are struggling with this, because this pandemic has really brought a lot of this out for people, even if it's just minor stuff, even if you're just feeling that way a little bit, it can absolutely snowball. It's the same, it's not the same as OCD, but it's very much the same patterns, and really, really pay attention and ask for help when you need it. Going to a therapist that specializes in OCD, can really help with BDD. I also wanted to tell you this. One of the things that helped me is, for many months, I didn't say anything. I was so scared. I was so embarrassed and felt shame and guilt and everything else. And I finally opened up to my husband. And I mean, I had to. I just felt like I was going to explode, and it started to really, really impact my worth and what I think and thought that I deserved in life. And I finally opened up to Sean, and told him everything and cried. And I was like, oh my God, he's going to think I'm an idiot. And he said, I feel the same way. He's been struggling too, in the same ways, just not going out as much as we used to, just being a little more inactive, kind of homebound, stuff like that. And so it was a relief to find out that he felt that way. But what we've kind of done since then is we talk openly about it. We joke about it. We're not picking at each other or making fun, but just, we laugh about it and it takes some of the insecurity out of it. So I would encourage you to find someone. You don't have to laugh about it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, in our relationship, sometimes we're so jokey. He's a comedian. He's hilarious. But finding someone who you can trust, who's going to get it, who isn't necessarily just going to give you reassurance and be like, oh no, everything, because you know how it is. Like, that does not help. That makes you sometimes double down in it. But someone who could understand what it feels like, what it means, and takes it serious. And that way, instead of bottling it all up, you can have someone that you can talk to, you can have an outlet. And also, I do peer support with people. This stuff comes up a lot for people, and I really feel like I have such an idea of what it is and how it feels, that it's super helpful and normalizing. And also our group practice as well. We're very inclusive, and people talk about anything and everything, OCD and BDD and BFRB and everything. So that's really all I had to share with you today. I just wanted to say that I just wanted to help normalize, if this is something that's on your mind, or if you've been struggling, or even if there's like some minor stuff starting to come up, this is you are not alone. And not even people with OCD, but a lot of people are just suffering at the, no pun intended, but at the weight that this pandemic is placing on us. The uncertainty that there's not an end. I mean, I know there's talk of a vaccine, but when we get into this routine that we've been doing this for so long, kind of like this last weekend that people were struggling, the idea of kind of, okay, when it ends, then going back to normal, what is normal? And that's also anxiety provoking for a lot of us. So what I want to leave you with today is wherever you're at, however you're feeling inside your skin, and I know what it feels like to not feel good in your skin. I know. You're enough. You are enough. And all we can do is work every single day, taking even baby steps sometimes to really remember that it's about you. It's about your worth and value versus comparing yourself to other people. There's so many people out there struggling. People that you might compare yourself with might be comparing themselves to you. We never know. But what can you do every day to take one step, to make sure that you understand your value and your worth and how much you deserve the life that you want, and how much, how special you are to so many people, and you are special in this community as well. So thank you for letting me share this with you. This was hard for me to do. It's, again, like I struggle with I can't believe I'm saying this stuff out loud, and I probably sound vain or whatever, and I'm just kind of overall embarrassed. But I know it's going to help some of you, because this is like I said before, this is the real deal, and this is something you really internalize, and can have a really big impact on your life and the image that you see yourself. And not to offer reassurance, but the way you are right now is just fine. You have value, and you matter here. So again, if you're looking for a therapist here in the States, head on over to treatmyocd.com. NoCD is providing therapy in all the states, and they can help work with insurance as well. If you are looking for peer support or referrals for therapists all over the world, go to chrissyhodges.com. And if you're looking to join one of our groups, we have people from all over the world that join, ocdpeers.com. I hope that you have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you next time.